So you played against one of the great Brian Clough sides?
Absolutely.
Hello, welcome to another video. After 3 months of strict lockdown in Scotland, I am now able to visit family in England. Before anyone starts saying it in the comments below, I am still following social distancing rules, but whilst I'm back in England, expect a string of videos from the country I was born in. Before we get started, please like this video and subscribe if you're new. We've picked a few hundred new subscribers up in the past couple of weeks thanks to a few of my videos in Scotland, so if you're one of the new subscribers, hello, welcome to the channel, it's great to see you back again. So, today's video. Since starting this channel, I've always wanted to work with clubs, and I'm lucky enough today to be meeting up with Northern League club Penrith AFC. A few tiers of football away from the Vanarama leagues, they are a very well-known club here in the Lake District of England. They've been good enough to let me look around the stadium, chat to the chairman, and maybe even watch the players train. I wonder if it's their first training session. I have so many questions. We can obviously see how recent global events have affected the larger teams in England. No gate receipts, but the might of the Premier League and merchandise sales and TV money will have kept these clubs afloat. Obviously it isn't ideal for them, they have lost millions of pounds, but they are still with us and all playing again, and they are slowly getting back to normal. So with the top 2 tiers of English football resuming again, and with a few games being played in the playoffs of tiers 3 and 4, where do non-league clubs go from here? Do they have enough resources to keep going? What happened to the season that was presumably cancelled because of recent events? And where do they go moving forward? Is there a project restart for non-league clubs? There are so many questions that I have on this topic, and I'm so happy that Penrith have let me come and look around their football club. Hopefully I can get an answer to a few of these questions and I can inform you guys as well. Let's go find out. So with views of the Pennine Mountains in the distance, we pan around. I believe this would be the training pitch, but here we are now, outside the home of Penrith FC. Penrith AFC, also known as the Bonnie Blues, is their nickname. So just before we get started, guys, as you can see, the beautiful Pennines in the distance, and then the rolling hills, surely one of the most picturesque grounds in non-league in England. So I'm here with Billy Williams, chairman of Penrith Association Football Club. Billy, you have played, managed, and you're now the chairman of the club, so if you don't know it.
Well, that's right. I mean, it's been a love affair really since I got married some 52 years ago.
Yeah. Met
a Penrith girl after I finished playing pro football, settled down, went into business and got involved playing till from the ages of about 22 through to 28.
And so some of the clubs you played for were Carlisle and...
I started off with Carlisle United, and then in the Football League days of Darlington.
Yeah.
And then, well, as it happens, the manager got moved on to Aldershot, and then he asked, and then my contract was up and asked me to go to Aldershot.
And have you played at any of the big stadiums in the...
Oh, well, yeah, but of course you played at them all. I mean, yeah.
What was your proudest day as a player?
Probably the most historic day I played was with not a supporter in the stadium.
A bit like today, really, then?
That was against Hartlepool United, playing for Darlington.
Yeah.
Of course, Brian Clough was manager of Hartlepool,
right,
along with Peter Taylor.
So you played against one of the great Brian Clough sides?
Absolutely, but we were winning 5-0 at half-time. And when we walked through into the ground, we had to walk under this ladder. There were some people painting the side of the stand.
Yeah.
And them 2 people happened to be Brian Clough and Peter Taylor.
So they're really working for the club from top to bottom, really.
Absolutely, yeah. So, that was the most memorable day. And
so how long have you now been associated with Penrith Football Club?
Well, it's 52 years.
I was just going to say, so we're now at Frenchfield Park. I'll include some shots which I just took when I arrived at the stadium. And you can see the rolling hills behind you with the sheep and the Pennines in the distance. Well, we've not always been here, though. Yeah.
That's Cumbria. No, we relocated down here 10 years ago.
Do you have any association with the bigger clubs? I know you play in the Cumberland Cup against teams like Carlisle United. Is there an opportunity to, coming out of lockdown, to play bigger clubs and to help, bring this club back up, to have friendlies here with some of the bigger teams? Is that a possibility?
We have an annual fixture against Carlisle United, and we have a relationship with them where they play their under-18 side down here.
So you currently play in the Northern League?
We play in the Northern League, yeah.
I believe the 9th tier of English football, is it?
7th, I think.
7th tier, so you'd be a couple of promotions away from potentially getting into the...
Yeah, but it's got to be sustainable.
Yeah.
You talk about getting up the ladder and rising through. It'll be all very nice, and in fact we've had several sponsors in the past that have had pipe dreams.
Yeah.
And then when they've realised, probably when they've put a couple £100,000 in, maybe it wasn't quite a good idea.
It's hard to get up the ladder and all that kind of stuff and sustain it.
And sustain it there.
And so what would be the highest league finish from Penrith then? Where have they been? Have they been up into the national leagues or the...
No. I mean, for probably 15, 16, 17 years ago now probably, we joined the North West Counties League, which I thought it was a little bit more feasible to go up and down the motorway rather than travelling over to the North East.
Yeah.
We stopped in there for about 3 or 4 seasons, and then we thought, in retrospect, we'd made the wrong decisions. We relocated back into the Northern League. And
it's a struggle to keep older players and
keep older players, and I like to see players trying to operate at the highest level as possibly can, because it's a short career.
Yeah.
But it is becoming much more of a struggle. I'll be interested tonight. Tonight's our first training session of the pre-season. And
so when was the last training session then? It must have been way before.
We're talking February,
March, was it? Yeah. And so I guess the lads are buzzing to get back and start training again.
Well, yeah, and there'll be a few newcomers down there, so I'll have a look and see if the manager's been earning his coin.
Yeah. See if they're put on the pounds before in lockdown. Yeah, nice. So that'll just wrap up the questions for now, and then we'll go have a look around the stadium, and then I'll ask you a few questions a little bit later on about how the league's going to restart as well and stuff like that.
Okay, mate.
So, just entering the home team dressing room. It's the away dressing room. Yeah. So very similar to the home. A lot of stadiums that I've been to have amazing home team dressing rooms, and then the aways are just absolutely awful. So at least you're not doing that to the away team, I suppose. No. Trying to make them as comfy as possible.
Make them as welcome as possible.
Yeah. And so how are they maintained during the course of like the season? You have volunteers that come in, you mentioned.
All volunteers. That was my last game.
Your last game as manager? Oh, okay. Yeah. Did you win? Oh, 1-4-1.
Yeah.
Nice win as manager. It has to be done. Can't go out on a loss.
That was one of the biggest games we had when Chester were league side. I was managing then as well.
So that's as far as you've got in the FA Cup?
Yeah, that's right.
Was it round 2, was it?
We got to, round 2
proper.
We got beat at Doncaster. Yeah, these are just all teams going back.
So you've got obviously all the ladies teams and the children's teams as well here. So how many players did you say there were? 300 odd players?
Kids, 350 kids play for the club,
And then so this is obviously some of the older teams that have played.
Teams going back in time,
Signed Preston shirt. Have you played them in the past?
Yeah, we've played them down here.
Yeah.
I think it was a pre-season friendly. Yeah.
So is that something you do? You play a lot of the bigger teams in pre-season? Because I'm sure that'd help you in with
financially, it's
the
a big help, and it's a big draw for players, that type of thing.
Yeah.
There's Gareth Southgate there with our team mascot.
So a lot of pennants on the wall here. Is that
all clubs we've played, yeah.
All clubs you've played. So
except Liverpool.
You've played against Hamburg?
Yeah.
Was that over in Germany or here?
They were just a fan club. They were just a fan club team.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They came over here. Yeah.
Is that Augsburg, top left?
Yeah. Yeah, you've got some knowledge of the football end.
I do like it, yeah. I do love my football, to be fair. Yeah. And you've played against Queen's Park?
Yeah.
I was up at Hampden Park recently, yeah. And so how old is this current stadium then? You got a nice view out on the pitch
10
there.
10 years now.
10 years old. So we've just left the clubhouse behind us, walking along the pitch now, across to the other stand. So in terms of the capacity of this stadium then, obviously the past couple of years it's not been filled up, but if...
No, our capacity is just over 4,000.
Just over 4,000?
Yeah.
That's quite good though, so a nice big FA Cup tie in the next couple of years.
I'd love to say that because it'll make my job much easier, because the financial pressure that's put on is not easy to take.
So we've just walked across the pitch to the Walter Brogden stand, named after a famous club secretary.
Yeah, great servant of the club. I think he had 42 years in Walter.
Amazing, yeah, and it's such a beautiful day. The sun's just come out and you can see how nice this stadium is, and I was just asking Billy inside what people can do to help, and when games start again, what can fans do? Obviously come and watch games and support the team. And
yeah, obviously we're in a very difficult location, you know, a mile and a half, couple of miles out of town. So that's affected our fan base really strongly, but
yeah,
it probably reflects how we've been doing on the pitch since we relocated down here. It hasn't become the fortress that it was up at our old ground. So,
yeah,
but we'll keep working on it. You've got to, you know, keep the faith.
Yeah, exactly. And so before we just move on to talking about this season coming up, where was the club left last season? What happened to the league that obviously you were playing in?
We were in a very precarious position, second bottom of the league.
Okay.
And of course, but the fixtures last year really didn't go away. We finished the season having 6 games all at home.
Right.
So
that's a big advantage, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, the opportunity was there for us to get out of the situation we were in, which was a relegation threatened position. But when it was knocked on the head, of course, we were thinking, which way is the league going to do things, which way the FA going to interpret, which way it should be.
And was it null and voided in the end?
It was null and voided.
Okay. So the season's going to restart when? Do we know?
We are given no indication whatsoever, which is very difficult.
How about the Vanarama leagues and that kind of stuff? Has that even been?
They're in exactly the same position, and of course this affects getting organised for, which is very important for us, pre-season friendlies against the bigger clubs.
Yeah.
And draw your fans down here to try and get some much needed income, which has been knocked on the head right throughout the summer months.
Yeah. And so what kind of, you mentioned earlier to me off camera about some fundraisers that would usually happen in the summer months, which have obviously not been able to.
Fundraisers, sort of, you know, music events, all that type of thing to get people down, which we've had big festivals on here to try and raise the money. Of course, that's been knocked on the head.
Yeah.
Our last 6 games of the season, as I said, were all business sponsors coming down, which all was, so yeah, it's been a very difficult job, and so we'll have to juggle it the best way we can, and just hope that people stick by us. That's the biggest thing.
Amazing. So when the league does restart, people should come down, support Penrith.
People should come, give us a chance, try and impress them, see if they enjoy the day out, and I'm sure they will. Yeah. Because it's as you rightly say, it's a wonderful setting.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, to anyone watching this, if you're ever up in the Lake District and Penrith are playing,
and even if they're not playing, there's always somebody down the stadium. Come down, have a cup of tea with us.
Come and meet Billy and have a chat about his days at Carlisle and
more than welcome.
Playing against Clough and all those boys. Yeah, it's lovely. You got the mountains in the background and the hills up there. It's really nice.
Yeah, especially on a night like tonight.
Yeah. Here are the players training. First training session in a very long time, and what a day for it. So a really nice little stadium. It does hold 4,000 people, even though it doesn't obviously fill out on a match day at this level. Imagine a big FA Cup tie here. But yes, if you are from the local area, come and support them when they're on. It's an amazing place. So Penrith FC, a historic football club and a massive part of the community here in this beautiful, picturesque part of England. Hundreds of players across women's teams, men's teams and children's groups. Not to mention the countless numbers of coaches and support staff, volunteers, the chairman, all that kind of stuff. They all really want this club to do as best as they can. They'll be crossing their fingers that they can get back to supporting and watching their club as soon as possible. Keep an eye out on their social media for any changes and for news on when games are next going to be played. If you enjoyed the stadium element of this video, I will include the stadium tours somewhere around here. Another video is about to appear here-ish, and that is what YouTube thinks you are most likely to click on. What is it for you? Please also subscribe somewhere, I don't know, here, somewhere in the bottom. So yeah, playlist of stadium tours, what YouTube wants you to watch, subscribe. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one, when I've got my hair cut.